Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most iconic structures ever built, the Great Pyramids, to try and uncover their real secret. So, when you think of the pyramids, what's the first word that comes to mind? Probably tomb, right? A giant pointy gravestone for a pharaoh. But what if that's, well, not wrong exactly, but a massive oversimplification? For literally thousands of years, the real purpose of the pyramids was a complete mystery. You see, the instruction manual, aka hieroglyphs, was lost, so we're only just now starting to piece together their true function. And let me tell you, it's way more interesting than just a tomb.
All right, so to really get our heads around this, we have to change how we think about, well, death. For us, it's the end. But for the ancient Egyptians, not so much. It was more like a terrifying but super important transition on the way to eternal life.
And this idea right here, this is the key that unlocks everything. The whole point wasn't just to mummify a body and stick it in a box. No, the goal was way more ambitious. It was to engineer a successful transformation, to literally turn a mortal king into an immortal god, ready to join the sun god Ra on his journey across the sky. And their most famous monuments, they were built for that exact purpose. So you've got this epic journey from mortal to gone. The big question then becomes, how do you make sure you get there in one piece? This is where the Egyptians' genius really shines. It wasn't just about digging a grave. It was about creating an entire sacred infrastructure, a mix of incredible architecture, precise rituals, and powerful magic, all working together to make sure the king's spirit was reborn.
Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty. First up is this concept of the Ka. Think of it like your spiritual double, your life force. It's born with you, but after you die, it hangs out in the tomb. But for the king's soul to live forever, the Ka had to be switched back on. They had these elaborate rituals, like the opening of the mouth ceremony, to magically let the mummy see and eat again. The Ka was basically the soul's anchor to the physical world. But an anchor is useless if you don't have a ship, right? That's where the Ba comes in. The Ba is the part of the soul that could actually travel. It's usually shown as a bird with a human head, and its job was to leave the tomb and navigate the underworld. And let me tell you, this was no pleasure cruise. We're talking a journey filled with demonic serpents, lakes of fire, and spooky gatekeepers. The Ba had to get through all of that to be reborn. So, this lays out the big challenge, the huge engineering problem the Egyptians were trying to solve. You've got the world of the living over here, and the wild, dangerous, spiritual world of the Duat over there. How in the world do you build a bridge between them? How do you guarantee the Ba makes it through safely to reunite with the Ka? Well, you don't just cross your fingers and hope for the best. You build a machine. And this was their absolutely brilliant solution. The entire pyramid complex wasn't just a static monument, it was a machine, an integrated, functional, cosmic engine. The whole thing was designed to channel the power of the gods and the stars, to literally launch the king's soul from its earthly body into its new, divine form.
So let's look at the parts of this machine, because every piece had a job. The whole funeral procession was a sacred journey. It starts down at the Valley Temple, which was like the arrivals terminal from the living world. From there, the procession moved up this long, covered causeway, a symbolic tunnel to the heavens. That led to the mortuary temple, which was like an eternal power station, where priests would perform rituals to fuel the king's spirit. And then the grand finale, the pyramid, the solid, immense launch pad to the stars. Okay, so you've built this amazing soul-launching machine. But how does the king's spirit, the Ba, know how to operate it? How does it navigate that treacherous underworld? I mean, you need maps, right? Maybe some magic passwords? Well, the Egyptians, being the meticulous planners they were, didn't leave anything to chance. They carved the entire instruction manual right onto the walls inside. What you're looking at here are the pyramid texts. These are literally the oldest religious writings known to humankind. And this quote, it's not just some pretty poetry. It's a powerful spell. It's telling the king's soul, hey, don't worry. This coffin, this tomb, it's not a prison. It's the womb of the sky goddess Nut, and she's about to give birth to you again as a star. These texts were basically a divine GPS for the soul's journey. And this is where it all comes together. The layout of the pyramid's chambers isn't random. It's a physical map of this spiritual journey. The soul awakens deep inside, in the dark burial chamber. Then it moves east, just like the sun, towards an antechamber that represents the horizon. And it's there, in that symbolic sunrise spot, that the soul transforms into an Ak, a shining, glorious spirit, ready to rise up into the heavens at dawn.
The building itself forces the soul to reenact creation. It's an amazing, profound system, right? But it all got lost. After the age of the pharaohs ended, this incredible knowledge just disappeared. And for almost 2,000 years, the real reason for the pyramids was buried under layers and layers of myths, wild stories, and just plain misunderstanding. Yeah, just look at this timeline. It's kind of mind-blowing. They start out as these high-tech resurrection machines. Then, fast forward 2,000 years, and the Greek historian Herodotus comes along and says, oh yeah, slaves built those. And that story sticks. Then you get to the Middle Ages, and European travelers are convinced they were giant granaries built by Joseph from the Bible. I'm not kidding. It really wasn't until 1822, when Jean-Francois Champollion finally cracked the code of hieroglyphs, that the original instruction manual was readable again. And this quote right here from Herodotus is basically patient zero for the pyramids were built by slaves idea, an idea that has been incredibly persistent. But modern archaeology tells us a totally different story. We've actually found the village where the workers lived, and guess what? They were skilled, well-fed Egyptians. We found their bakeries, their breweries, they even got honorable burials right next to the pyramids. This was a national project built by proud citizens, not a slave-driven nightmare. And this is the moment the connection was truly severed. In the 4th century AD, the last person who could read hieroglyphs died. And just like that, 3,000 years of culture went dark. The truth was lost. The pyramids became this giant, silent, blank canvas, and people just started painting their own fantasies on it. You get stories of hidden treasure, mummies' curses, all the stuff you'd read in the 1001 Nights. The complex reality was just gone, replaced by adventure stories. So what's the big takeaway from all this? The pyramids weren't monuments to death at all. They were monuments to an incredible, unshakable belief in life and in humanity's power to engineer its own eternity. They're this breathtaking fusion of belief, science, and art, active machines built to turn a human into a god. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If we got this wrong for so long, what else about the ancient world are we only just starting to understand? Sometimes the truth is way more fantastic than any myth.